listening to the Scoop Slam Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Scoop Slam Podcast. We are back. First episode of 2026. We've got some Stranger Things WWE collab to break down for Monday Night Raw. We're going to venture across the Pacific to New Japan for a special edition here on the Scoop Slam Podcast. All that and more. As always, I'm one half of your hosting team, Micah. All the other end of the call, the historian. He's many names wrapped into one, but he's best known by Mr. Slam. It's Ryan.
Yo, Mr. Scoop. Great to be back here with you. New year, new us. We got a very jam-packed show, so I just want to get into it, Micah, and talk about the graps that we missed out on the last couple weeks.
Yeah, well, new year, new us, same old wrestling. But do you have any New Year's resolutions, Ryan? Either maybe your watching habits or
Just enjoy wrestling. Scoop. Just
Bro.
enjoy wrestling. Yeah. That's what I'm gonna do, Micah. Just enjoy it. Just check my brain at the door and just enjoy it. We'll see how long that lasts, because we got a long episode here, so I might break my New Year's resolution here.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see. I'm positive so far.
Yeah, it was an interesting week. But I will say the break was very much needed, at least on my end. I know you still kind of floated around and tuned in, but I needed to not watch wrestling for about 2 to 3 weeks, which, in all honesty, aside from the pay-per-views, I had kind of checked out of most of the TV shows. And I'll talk about that a little bit more when we get to Raw, because some of the reactions to Raw were just like blowing my mind.
Yeah, the live reactions, they were a little hot take-ish, but we'll get to it when we talk about it.
Well, obviously, to start the year off, we've got a handful of news topics, and we're going to try and address that more as the year goes on. As long as there's not 45 pay-per-views and Saturday nights and main events and all this, that, and the other. So, Ryan, I know you sift through the weeds out there to find the juiciest headlines to bring to the table. So, what do you have for me today, Mr. Slam?
Yeah, I got a scoop 5 for you, Micah. It's not groundbreaking news we're going to talk about, but a couple things we did miss out on. We didn't get a chance to talk about over our hiatus, as we call it. One of your favorites, Micah, Tommaso Ciampa. His contract's running out. From Body Slam, they indicate that Tommaso Ciampa's contract is coming up, and he plans on finishing his time up with the company without a renewal. It's unclear if Ciampa chooses to not sign a new deal and is planning on going elsewhere, or is wanting to take time off without a deal. Any thoughts, Micah, with Mr. Ciampa presumably leaving in the next couple weeks?
The favorite comment, if you're new here, was sarcasm. I never saw Black and Gold NXT, so I don't really have any. Yeah, I don't have any commitment to Tommaso Ciampa or just love for him. I've only seen a handful of his matches. I thought he had a match of the year candidate last year with the ladder match. But in all honesty, man, I don't really turn on SmackDown to see what Tommaso Ciampa's doing. And
bear more, Mike.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I think he's reached, where he's going to be at on the main roster in WWE, and he's not getting any younger, and WWE really needs a youth movement. Now, as far as where he ends up, I'm sure he'll end up in AEW because that fan base adores him, and he'll do what they all do, and he'll get there and probably lose his first match on TV, and then flounder in the mid card for about 6 months, and then they'll be like, "Oh, we do have Ciampa on contract," and then they'll, start using him.
Are you saying there's some 6-man tag matches with his name on it, Micah, in ROH? Is that what you're
for $1
telling me?
million.
You know, I didn't realize he was. I mean, he's old, yes, but he's only like 41, which isn't that old. But he looks like he's ancient, doesn't he? Thanks to
Well,
gray.
yeah, the gray the hairstyle in general, the baldness always makes people look older, but
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
41 is not old in wrestling terms today, but in terms of like WWE's main event scene, they're all around that age. So in the time that it would take Tommaso Ciampa to get built up to a main eventer, I just don't see that panning out long term for WWE. So I don't blame them for where he's at.
Yeah. And he had a really good run in NXT Black and Gold, Mike. I know you didn't see it, but he did have a really good run as a heel there. He was probably the best heel in the business when he was doing that NXT title run and matches with Gargano. They had some barn burners in like that 2016, 2017 year range. And it just never materialized on the main roster, man. Didn't have the physique or like the height. I hate to be a heightist here. Is that a word? Can I say that?
Uh, I I guess he's
Okay.
vertically challenged.
Yeah, vertically. There you go. There you go. He just never had the personality to be a standout on the main roster. So I don't blame Triple H for not making man 3-time IC champion. I don't blame Triple H for that. So in my opinion, it's not a fumble. He got where he was gonna get. He reached his ceiling. He reached his peak. I didn't notice that Tommaso Ciampa wasn't with Johnny Gargano on the last SmackDown because I did catch the first SmackDown of the year or the last SmackDown. Oh, it was one. What day is it, Micah? Is it January? January
It,
yet? It was
January
one of
9th.
the SmackDown. Okay, well Gargano had a match with I think it was Carmelo Hayes, and he came out he being Gargano with Candice LeRae and no Champa in sight, and I didn't notice he was gone. So yeah, that probably the last time we ever see Champa. So yeah, good riddance, Mr. Champa. Wish you your best in your future endeavors.
There you go.
All right, and another scoop. AEW contract news, Micah. Did you hear about this? You see this? Mercedes Martinez, Alex Abrahantes, and Matt Taven's contract is set to expire. Any thoughts on these people, Micah?
Abrahantes was lost without the Lucha Brothers, and a lot of people don't like him anyways. I thought he was okay, but I don't think he's a long term like main event manager. Mercedes Martinez, I thought she was talented. Um, but AEW just never really used her. I do remember a slight time where she was on TV, probably when they were trying to just get her to be a challenger to feed somebody else, because that's typically how they do
I
it.
think she was the ROH Women's Champion before Athena. Shows you how much prestige is on that ROH Women's Champion.
Uh, I think you're right about that. You know, I think she is talented, but in all honesty, I don't know where she ends up. Like, I don't think it's somebody WWE um reaches out to, and
They had her.
ultimately,
They had
well,
her. She was on that infamous what was that 2020 pandemic era of WWE. She was on the main roster with Mustafa Ali and the wow, what was that? What was that group they had? Remember Mustafa Ali had that group? What was it called?
Retribution.
Retribution. Yeah, she was a part of Retribution.
I forgot about that.
She was
Yeah.
having the fake spasms on the canvas, and people thought that it was insensitive to people that had seizures. Remember that?
I do
I
remember
don't know if you
that.
were
I
following.
wasn't.
I don't know if you were fed podcast back then, but
See,
yeah,
we
that did
weren't
happen.
following it at that point, but I do like I remember seeing the Retribution storyline because it was during COVID and there wasn't much else going on except for WWE.
What an odd
Um,
time that was.
yeah, but at the same time, she's also 45, so it's
Oh,
like
yes, it. Wrap it up.
Yeah, for a major company, they're just not going to go for that. And who was
Do you
the other
remember?
person you said?
Do you remember when they had a main event, Mercedes Martinez, and who was it? Was it Serena Deeb? They had a main event on Dynamite, and then she wasn't seen on Dynamite for like 2 years after that.
Was that early like 2019 Dynamite? Easy for me to say.
It had no, because she was a part of WWE at that point. So it had to be like 2021, 2022. They had fans. Guess
I
they
mean, I
weren't
don't
making any
remember. It
noise for
doesn't
that.
sound completely out of the what's the word I'm looking for here?
Realm of possibility that it did
There you
happen.
go.
I mean, they booked so much random stuff. I'm sure it did happen. But
Ah,
the
you don't like
other name
all-star
that
tags?
I'm more of a money match man myself. The
Oh, okay.
$5,000 on the line, more of that. But anywho, Micah, Matt Taven. I don't know how AEW can fumble Matt Taven, Micah. You sad to see Matt Taven go, Micah?
I'm not particularly hurt. Is Mike Bennett still there?
Somehow, yeah, he's there.
I don't expect him to last much longer either. I think they could have done more with them, but they got shackled in with that stupid Roddy Strong gimmick, and they could just never recover. But they're good wrestlers. Like they were a good tag team in a tag team
Yeah.
division right now that's arguably the weakest it's ever been in AEW, and they just never found a spot for them. So, yeah, I don't really think they're losing anything from these three. Not to disrespect any of them. I saw they hired Jake something the other night.
Who?
I don't really know anything about him.
What's his name?
Jake something. They changed it to Jake Doyle.
Oh, okay. Sure.
He was the DPW world champ, and I want to say he used to be in TNA.
Okay. Was that the 2015 era that nobody saw?
Nah, it's
No, was
I
he
want
the
to say
cat that was paired with Fandango in TNA?
I could not tell you
Oh, come
because
on
I
now,
wasn't
Micah.
watching
You
it.
were. I thought you were tuned in for Dolph. You didn't see that?
No. He hadn't been in there that well. Maybe he was in there.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Jake something. Yeah. So out with the old and with the new. It's shout out to all those people online when WWE quote unquote lets contracts expire. They say, "Oh, WWE's releasing a bunch of talent." But when AEW does it, they just say, "Oh, well, Tony Khan did the right thing just by letting their contracts expire."
yeah. I guarantee you the narrative would not be letting contracts expire. Like if
Mm.
WWE did it, it would not be. How could they? Oh my God, they're just letting these guys' contracts expire.
If
That's
it
so
was
nice.
if it was the same three people being let go by WWE, they would say, "Oh, WWE just let go of a LGBTQ ally and a minority, and they fumbled one of the potential biggest stars on the Indies." I
Yeah.
guarantee it. In fact, I think they did do that when they released all those people a couple months ago.
And the funniest part to me about that is they use the like old adage of like, oh, it's a corporation and it's bad and they don't need the money, which like I agree with you to a sense. Like I'm not a big corporation person myself. Also, Tony Khan's a billionaire. So you know what I mean? Like you can't hold WWE's feet to the fire over like they don't need the money and then not hold Tony Khan's when he's a billionaire.
Yeah. No, he's a
So
nice billionaire, Micah.
yeah, we like this billionaire. Sure, pal. Anyways, what's next on the news cycle?
Well, I know you probably was jumping for joy when this particular event happened, Micah, but any thoughts about the reigning JCW champion, Matt Cardona, being back with WWE?
Oh, I'm happy for him.
But are you happy?
I'm not gonna go out of my way to tune in to a Matt Cardona match, but if he tells a good story, I'll check it out. I like the guy. I met him. He's super nice, but in all honesty, I just don't know where he really fits in today's day and age. Like, I don't know if I see world champion with him. Maybe, maybe we can get there one day. But I'm along for the ride, and I'm always ready to see what Matt Cardona's doing.
Were you shocked they let him keep his name?
Well, I think it depends on what they're wanting to do with him. If they were just wanting to keep him in the mid card, then I think they would have just told him to keep Zack Ryder. But it was probably in the conditions of his contract because I'm sure he realizes that the name Matt Cardona might get him into that main event scene. I don't know if it will or not. Time remains to be seen. Like, I don't think. Okay, let me just close your eyes, Ryan.
All right,
Close your
I'm
eyes,
here.
listening audience, unless you're driving. Can you picture the World Heavyweight Championship
close them.
on?
Close them even if you drive.
It helps with the visualization. Can you imagine him holding like the World Heavyweight Championship or the WWE Championship?
No, I cannot.
See, that's what like I could see him holding the World Heavyweight Championship, but the problem is my mind starts
And you,
morphing that image into LA Knight. And then
Ellen Knight's
that's
more talented. Let's be honest here.
LA Knight's definitely more charismatic. I don't know. Like, I could see it. I'm not gonna write him off and just say he's banished to the mid card, stay there. But we'll see. But ultimately for him, I'm glad. He seems like he's wanted to be back in WWE for a long time. We'll see what they do with him.
Well, like you said, I like it. I like the story. He's worked hard to come back, but Mr. Scoop, there's not a force on God's green earth that will make me care about Zack Ryder in 2026.
Come on, what if he turns on Cody and steals the belt from him?
You know what? Kit Wilson actually stole a lot of his a lot of his heat there on Friday. A lot of people talking about Kit Wilson more than Matt Cardona his first night back.
Oh well, we just like to sing here in the Fed.
Only when it's not Jey Uso, apparently.
Yeah, no, that bell has to ring for him, but everybody
Yeah.
else, it's just karaoke night.
Oh, is anybody else getting early Shawn Michaels vibe from Kit Wilson?
Oh my God. Oh my God. I saw him compared to Dolph Ziggler and Shawn Michaels today, and I almost had to I had to lock you in for a minute and realize that this is the internet and I can't get rage baited this easy.
Yeah, they let anybody on there.
I've never seen a Kit Wilson match, admittedly, that I can remember. I don't remember being blown away.
Well, hopefully we've seen his last match. That match with Matt Cardona. I don't know. We'll see what he turns into. But compare him to Shawn Michaels, y'all calm down.
Yeah.
Y'all
It's
Gen Alpha
egregious.
fans, calm down.
Yeah, it's egregious enough when they do it with Seth Rollins, but
Oh God. But with Kit Wilson?
these new age fans. Well, we started the show. We were trying to be the young hip podcast in town, and now look at us.
Well, speaking of being young and hip, Micah, did you hear about Logan Paul announcing that he is signing a official full-time WWE contract? Any thoughts on Logan Paul officially a full-time WWE superstar?
I actually did not see this, so this is the first I'm
Yeah.
hearing. I think it's a good thing, and I think that if Logan keeps improving, he could be excellent. I think he's already pretty good. But with the constant, getting more matches under his belt, getting that live promo time. Logan's such a natural heel because everybody knows who he is. People say, "Oh, you Fed fans glaze him because he does this," and like I get it. He does kind of wrestle that style that Ospreay and them do. But you know, I'll say this: if Logan's going to show the commitment, I'm excited to see what his career holds. Which is the same thing I say for Ospreay and those guys. I just, eventually, here's the thing: that style, ask Seth Rollins, that style runs out. I need those guys to get that promo, get that ability to tell a story for me personally. And I feel like Logan will be able to do that with more reps because he's already a natural heel. He just has to get that, I guess, like Disney kind of cadence out of his voice where it feels very fake. But, hey, I'll give anybody a chance, and if he's fully committing to it, maybe this will finally shut some of the people up that just hate on him constantly.
I think it seals the deal that he's going to be a world champion. I mean, there's no excuses now. He's going to work as many dates as, Dom Mysterio is going to work now. But, Micah, I know we said this a million times on the pod, but if Logan Paul would have done all that stuff that he did, but started out in professional wrestling, nobody would care about any of those, past actions that he's done or he's been accused of. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Oh, yeah, no, because there's plenty of wrestlers that have done worse.
Yeah, way worse. But because he's a YouTube, Vine, cringy type superstar and came from a different place, the IWC wrestling fans as a whole are never going to give him credit for anything he does, which I don't care. He's good. And people buy tickets to see him get beat up. So
I think
it's
that's
a win.
the magic.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I think that's the magic a lot of people are missing. They're like, oh, I hate Logan Paul. Yeah, exactly. Pay to come see him get beat up. Welcome to being a heel.
There's a lot of those fans that don't want to get worked though. They want to be in on it, They don't really want to boo the heel. They don't really want to hate the heel. Well, guess what, pal? It's not what wrestling is. You don't get to laugh at everything. If you hate somebody, buy a ticket, see them get beat up.
Yeah.
That's what pro wrestling was built on.
Well, also, excuse me for not being up to date on things. I know he's did a couple crypto rug pulls, which really is no different than those guys that used to say, "Hey, pay me $2,000 and I'll teach you how to wrestle," and then they'd skip town and go to the next territory. But is aside from like the Suicide Forest stuff, what like controversies has Logan Paul had? Like, I know he's like, we all know he's probably not a good person, but
Yeah, he's part of that, that manosphere type stuff, that Joe Rogan type podcast scene where he, he said, "Oh, do you really think we landed on the moon?" Or stuff like that. You know what I mean, Micah?
manosphere is a good word for that. I've never heard that before. But like the Andrew Tate,
yes,
brand,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, Joe Rogan, that type of. He hangs out with those type of guys.
Yeah. Joe Rogan, I can at least give a pass to because it hasn't always been like that.
Yeah.
I'm not now. People are going to take that and say something else. I'm not saying I agree with everything Joe Rogan's done. I'm just saying, so like he used to not be like the way he is now.
I listened to a lot of his podcasts in like 2017, 2018.
Yeah, I used to like when he had the MMA fighters on there.
Why does he not do that anymore?
Well, it doesn't do the clicks, pal, because the UFC isn't as popular as it used to be because they don't have a Conor McGregor. Like, it's all just, I hate to say this because I know they're big probably in their respective country, but a lot of it is guys that don't speak English. And so for an American-based fan, you liked Conor McGregor because he cuts the promos. And that's what's the beauty of it to me is like the manosphere bros that watch the UFC because like, oh dude, it's so, and look at how Connor like talk crap to this guy and Connor doesn't care. It's like, this is pro wrestling. Y'all just insecure about it.
Yeah, they don't want to be worked.
Yeah. I like
Fans
both,
don't want to
but
be called
just
marks.
yeah, there's nobody right now in UFC to me that's very interesting. I mean, there's talented fighters, but in terms of like people that I buy into their character or like I want to be a fan of them for their personality, I just don't have anybody. And
That's
oh,
yeah.
some people
Oh, go
like
ahead.
that, for their UFC watching, but I like Adesanya. I liked him because he was kind of cocky.
But who's gonna buy tickets to watch just straight up MMA? I know there's people that love the sport and will watch the sport no matter what. But I like little storylines in mine. I want you to
Yeah,
talk trash to the fighter that you're about to fight. I wanna see that. That's when UFC is done right, and that's when pro wrestling is done right. When you actually care about the guys and the gimmicks and the characters that they portray on television.
yeah,
And it's hard to do when let's call a spade here, Micah. We've said that a lot on this podcast, but when you're a foreigner, you can't really express emotions to the English speaking audience. We're not being ugly, we're just speaking facts.
yeah.
Shout out to those guys. I'm sure nice fellows. I'm sure they use their left and right turn indicator, but I don't care about. I've never seen an Adesanya match or what do they call a match or contest, whatever you call it. I've never seen it. I've never seeked one out. I've never stayed up till 1 in the morning to see Adesanya. Just don't care. But
Well,
shout out to him. I think he's a big pro wrestling fan.
he is. I mean, he can speak English. He cut his promos, but
Oh, can he? Oh, okay.
yeah, he's from I
Okay.
think
Well, he
he's
need to get
like
disrespectful with it then.
okay. Well, he's kind of retired now. Well, not retired, but his prime's over. I don't know. It depends on the guy too, because like Anderson Silva, he didn't really talk a whole
Oof,
lot of English,
that
but
was my guy.
he was that guy. You
Fighter.
know what I mean?
Yeah, he was that guy. He had the aura.
Yeah. There's just nobody. I think that's it too. Like, there's just nobody in UFC right now with like the it factor. Like that's the guy.
I think that's what Dana wants though.
Ah, that's just lame.
But he doesn't want guys to get, so big that they demand more money or because I mean they have guys that can talk, I assume. Why don't we just feature those guys a little more?
I don't
Or is it
know.
just that the international guys have surpassed all the American guys?
I think that's really what it's become. Like with the same way the NBA is starting to go, where it's like a lot of the international guys, they come up and that's like all they do. And so they're just like it's just like second nature to them. But going back to that thing about the character type stuff, like everybody hates him and he is probably not a good person. But Colby Covington, dude, I ain't gonna lie, every time Colby fights, I watch because which he hadn't fought in years. But like you watch because you want to see him get punched in the face. Like he was
Yeah.
entertaining.
Yeah. Yeah, I
And
agree.
and ultimately, like Colby, like that's a character. It's a very obvious character. Now you might hate the character, but he's working you.
Yeah.
So
Sold more pay-per-view buys. Sold more
yeah.
tickets that way.
Well, anyways, is that it for the news headlines? We can hop on our plane.
Yeah, let's go on to the Tokyo Dome, Micah, where we can get our 5 stars in real quick.
Well, we did. We ventured to the Tokyo Dome for Wrestle Kingdom to check
Hmm.
out. 2025 was the year of retirements, and this was no different for a man whose career was very parallel to John Cena's. We went to the Tokyo Dome for Wrestle Kingdom 20, and we watched the main event, which was Kazuchika Okada versus Hiroshi Tanahashi and Hiroshi Tanahashi's retirement match. Now, in terms of New
Yeah.
Japan, this is the very I very
This
seldom watched any.
this is a bad time to pick it up, Micah.
Yeah. I will say this before we get into the match itself. The presentation in Japan is different for sure. Some things I like, some things I don't. A lot of people are fans of the No Mercy camera shot where the ring entrance is in the view. I don't
Yeah,
like that.
really.
I don't. I want to see the fan reaction on the other side.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I love the inside the ring camera shot they do. Like I love that. Like, cause it
Yeah,
feels like you're up close and personal, like
yeah,
with the
that's
match.
that's fine, but it's just the like wide view where the
Yeah.
entrance ramp is visible. I don't know why I've never really cared for that because I think it's just the way I grew up watching. Like I've always known the crowd was behind. The
Mhm.
only time I ever liked it was in the garden, and I hate now that the garden's not still like that.
Yeah, they renovated it. Yeah, I thought the presentation was pretty good actually. I can't bury that. The
Yeah.
shot, like you said, did bother me, but the some of the shots I did enjoy, and the presentation was top notch, man.
Yeah, they went all
And
out for him, and the stage
yeah,
was nice too.
yeah, fans were into everything.
Yeah. Which, I was a little hesitant because, like I said, I haven't watched a lot of New Japan, but a lot of times they're very quiet. I know it's a different culture over there, but they were very much with Tanahashi, with the go ace chants, like in the middle of the
Yeah,
match. And typically they're pretty quiet.
yeah. And Unk had his wrestling boots on tonight, man. I haven't saw a lot of Tanahashi over the last 10 years or so, but he was hell bent on giving that crowd a show, and he went all out. I thought he wrestled circles around Okada, for being honest here.
Well,
Who was
I
retiring again?
both of them. Um,
Double retirement.
I put my first note was I'm very glad that Tanahashi's getting to go out on his own terms because a lot of guys don't. But at the same time, like man, he's getting to that age where it like almost hurts me to watch him. Like you can just tell, man, the
Like
body's not what it used to be.
he was moving like Matt Hardy out there.
Yes, and the bump to the outside, like from the top rope, when I want to say
Oof.
Okada like drop kicked him and then he fell out there. Oh
Yeah,
man, I was like, oh no, I winced just watching him
yeah.
fall.
And then he pulled out he being Tanahashi, pulled out a cross body from the top of the turnbuckle
Yeah,
to the floor.
it was crisp. It was very crisp. I
Oh
give
yeah,
it to him.
he hit it. I wouldn't want to take it because like Okada's
No.
head bounced off the floor.
Oh, speaking of, did you see that swanton he hit later in the match?
Wait, Tanahashi?
Yes, it might have not been a swanton. It was
Oh,
some
he's
kind
talking
of
about like a
like
senton.
yeah, like a senton.
Oh, okay.
Dude, it was
Yeah.
Jeff Hardy-esque, landed straight on Okada. No help, no nothing.
I'm fine with that.
But as far as the match itself, uh, I enjoyed it. There
Yeah.
was a couple things I didn't love. The tombstone to the outside, that always bothers me, but I can give New Japan a pass because they have the 20-second count out.
Yeah. I kind of zoned out when they went outside. I'll be
Well, that's just the nature of how often they go outside, in the States,
yeah.
um but with a 20-second count out and the ref was out there after, so like that even added a little more time. I was like, okay, like this my brain isn't like hypercritical of what just happened. Like there's been enough time. He got in the ring at 19. Um, you know, I- honestly, I'm kind of surprised you said that because I felt the same way. I felt like Tanahashi, though at times he looked like he was, hurting to get to the next spot. He was going all out, and Okada just kind of like he was going through the motions.
Yeah. Sleepwalking. I thought he was supposed to be good in Japan. They told me he saves all his good matches for Japan. Tanahashi had to carry this man.
I don't think Okada has any left.
You know, I did feel really bad when Tanahashi set up for the. I don't know what they call it in Japan, but it's Shinsuke's Sasha knee. They call it something else in
Is it?
Japan.
I know what you're talking about. I can't pronounce it either. I'm not trying to be any kind of way. I know I'm gonna mess it up.
Okay, well,
Is it
Tanahashi,
Shinkasa?
the Kinshasa is his finisher in WWE, but they called it something different in Japan. But that's beside the point. One is Tanahashi set up for the move, and he was building to it. He did a little Shinsuke taunt. Shout out to his buddy. And then Tanahashi proceeded to hit the worst knee lift I have ever seen in
Yeah.
my life. Like he hit his he kind of hit his right he hit Okada's right titty. And but can I say that? Are we bleeping that?
No. That's
Okay, all right. His testicles. He hit his solar plexus, Micah. He hit him. And of course Okada had to sell it, but it just looked so bad. But
yeah.
other than that, Tanahashi, man, I actually think he had a better performance. I hate to use that word performance, but he had a better last match than Cena did.
Then Cena? Oh yeah, I felt the same way. Like,
Yeah.
and it's funny because I didn't want to be like that because I'm like, dude, every time these people come in my comments and they're like, "Oh well, this was better in Japan," and then I was like, well, I kind of have to eat my words on this one because
It was
I
better, yeah.
actually kind of enjoyed the Okada Tanahashi match.
Yeah, and a lot of drama. I knew what happened at the end before I watched it, but I still was invested in all the near falls.
Yeah, there was
And
one at the end, especially that Okada hit him with I want to say it was the Rainmaker like the first time because didn't he hit him with like two
yeah,
to
he did like a
finish it?
nonchalant pin first time or second time,
Yeah.
one of them times.
And I think that when he first kicked out, it was like the crowd was like, oh, like you heard him come up. And I saw somebody on Twitter, I felt the same exact way. They were like, dude, if Tanahashi had came back right then and hit the high fly flow and won, that would have been like great. You know what I mean? Those people would have went crazy. Uh, but that's not what we got.
Mm. But they worked hard though. They did work hard. Well, one of them worked hard, and the other one was
Yeah.
just there. The other
Well,
one was the broom,
I think
the blow up
that's a
dog.
good analogy right there. Uh, I think that I made the post about it on TikTok, but Tanahashi, and you said the same thing. Tanahashi losing to Okada was such a dumb decision to me, and I didn't see anyone say anything online about it. But oh my god, dude, the pitchforks and the freaking the nukes were armed at WWE headquarters because they made Cena lose his last match to a younger guy who could use the win and also someone who's actually employed by their company. And
No, they've changed the narrative now though. Now they're saying that, well, we just didn't like that Cena lost to Gunther because he didn't have any history with Gunther, even though that was not the argument when it
no.
happened. Now
Yeah,
it's okay because Okada beat Tanahashi because they have history.
yeah, some guy tried to come in my comments and say that, and I was like, dude, if Randy Orton had beaten John Cena in his last match, y'all would have been pissed. Like, y'all still would have been mad. Do not lie to yourself.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Like, I'm fine with guys losing their retirement match. I wasn't
That's
even
how
just
they
like
should.
yeah, I wasn't even like disgusted that Tanahashi lost, but it was like, really? Y'all are okay with this and not Gunther? Like, that one at least makes a little more sense. This is
But
just like, oh, this guy's still better. Okay, back to America you go.
no, but this is different though, Micah, because Okada doesn't work for New Japan. They're
No.
giving the rub to an AEW guy. That'd be like Cena losing his last match to Rico Constantine. Well, they got history, Micah. They were
Yeah.
tag partners in OVW. But they're not putting over a guy in their own company. Who benefits from that win?
I'm really ready for in about 5 years for this New Japan AEW relationship to fizzle out. And then maybe people will start to realize that AEW is not benefiting anyone that they're partners with.
Bro, they siphoned all of New Japan's main event stars over the last 10 years. And it was apparent when all these guys came out at the end of the show to greet Tanahashi. You saw, old Willie Boy, and you saw Kenny Omega. You saw, what's the jabroni that is Kenny Omega's lover? What's his name?
Kota Ibushi.
Kota Ibushi. You saw him. And you saw Switchblade, Jay White, which he hasn't been seen on TV in like 2 years, it seems like. But you've seen all these guys come out to greet Tanahashi, and it's like, where are all the New Japan guys?
Yeah. There. What's that Magic Johnson clip? I'm not gonna be there. Cause, dude, like legit that, and there's more. There's more than what you name. Like Shinsuke's in WWE, so he wasn't there, and that pissed a lot of people off because Fed bad. But there's also Takeshita, who was their IWGP champion, but he's still employed by AEW. There's Gabe Kidd, who
I saw him taking back shot the day before.
we're not going to speak on that. I thought that was an old clip when you sent it to me.
Oh, pal. That's what that's what they're up to over there in Japan. No shame.
Imagine
Roman
he was
Reigns
supposed to retain the championship, and they saw that, and they're like, man, never mind, get it off of him.
Can you imagine Roman Reigns, bro, taking back shots before WrestleMania?
Yeah. You know what's funny about that too? They always bring up that stupid dog food clip, which like admittedly is bad, right? But Takeshita can take back shots and DDT, and nobody bats an eye.
The crowd was not mysteriously, but the crowd just seemed like okay with the sight of it too. Like, is this a normal occurrence over there?
The crowd was slightly aroused, actually.
I think that's the guy's gimmick. That's the guy's finish.
It just got the viscera.
I think he did finish. I don't know. Let's watch that closely.
The jokes write themselves, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, happy retirement, Ace. They definitely went all out for you, man. There was an extra hour after the show just dedicated to Tanahashi. But yeah, the New Japan AEW partnership is garbage.
Yeah, hasn't benefited anybody. Yet I hate to compare the two because we don't do that over here in Scoop Slam Podcast. But WWE platforms TNA, and TNA gets a multi-million-dollar deal. Which, speaking of TNA, Micah, are we watching the first episode on AMC next week?
I think we got to, pal. A new wrestling promotion. Well, I can't say a new wrestling promotion, but a debut third wrestling promotion on national cable television. We got to watch it.
This is TNA's return to cable television after an 11-year hiatus. I think they were on Spike in 2014. No, that'd be 12 years. That'd be 12 years then.
Wow. Cockroach.
Yeah. I know. Can't kill him.
So yeah, we'll be there. We'll review it. That's next week?
That is next week, yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, we'll have it either next week's episode or the week after, depending on when the recording schedule falls. But Ryan, are you ready to flip things upside down as we return back to the States?
Let's get into it.
Before we get too far into this, Monday Night Raw was collabing with Stranger Things, which I didn't really know what to expect. But, Ryan, have you been watching Stranger Things? Have you ever watched Stranger Things?
I saw the first season, but I didn't bother to ever catch up with any other seasons because I saw they stopped making them for a long time. But maybe I'll go and binge all of them. I did quite enjoy the first season, but yeah, I didn't have a problem with the sponsorship like everybody else seemed to have a problem with online about the sponsorship. Wrestling companies do this all the time. I'm old enough to remember when WCW had RoboCop come in and save Sting. in a collaboration with the RoboCop movie. So, having Monday Night Raw collaborate with the #1 show in at least the US at the moment, I had no problem with. I thought the set looked cool. I thought you were gonna get to see some of the stars. I figured they show
Yeah.
up to the show, but we didn't get to see any of the Stranger Things stars. But whatever. I didn't have a problem with it. I thought it looked pretty cool.
I thought it was cool. First off, before I get to the wrestling aspect of this, I enjoyed the ending. And for those of you out there who didn't, I don't understand what you didn't like because I won't spoil anything for you, Ryan. But dude, the hate, like people act like this is Game of Thrones level bad, and it's not. It is nowhere near
I've
like
I've seen some things online about it, but yeah, a lot of people were comparing it to the complete train wreck that was Game of Thrones at the end of the line there.
no, that it's not even close, dude. It's the best thing I can compare it to for my real ball knowers out there is like it's the same thing with like why people hate Mass Effect 3. They boil it down to this one thing that happens and they're like, "Oh, this is the final fight." But they don't take in like the entire last episode and like the journey to get to the final fight and all this. Like it's more death by 1,000 cuts than it is like one 5-minute fight sequence. And I don't know. I think people are too like knee-jerk reaction, and most real people that I've talked to enjoyed it. It's just a loud minority on the internet.
Yeah, I always want to hate on something.
Yeah. And that's, I think people just don't like the end of anything. And that's the beauty with wrestling, right? It never ends.
Yeah, but people still gonna find a way to hate on wrestling though.
Oh yeah. I mean, hey,
The fan
what are we
base
doing
does a
here?
good job of that. Oh well, yeah. No, we're positive this year, Mike. Remember? We're
Yeah, we're
positive.
being positive. We
Yeah,
haven't said a negative thing yet.
there you go. Did you
We
see
just
Javon Evans sign his contract during the commercial break, Mike? You have a
I
problem with that?
did. I do have a big problem with that because I think Javon is an extraordinary talent, and I just don't understand the thought process there. Like, you mean to tell me you couldn't have cut like a little 5-minute segment? Like, there was plenty of backstage segments on that show. They could have trimmed somebody's down.
Well, I did not have a problem with it because they didn't clear out the building when they signed him. They just did it during a commercial break, which the commercial breaks are aired live in the across the pond and wherever else they're playing Raw. I mean, a lot of just in the US, we didn't get to see it, but the people that were sailing the high seas, they got to see it because they got to see the streams. And I mean, it's not like they did it and didn't show you, Micah. I mean, they had clips online.
No, they did. Like, but that's what bothered me. I was watching the show live and I was scrolling Twitter, and that's when I knew that he got signed to Raw.
Well, yeah. Nikola Jokic got drafted during a Taco Bell commercial. No problem with that.
You see how that ended up.
Yeah, there you go. I
I
didn't
don't
have a
know.
problem. I didn't think it was a big deal. People online thought it was, oh, Triple K at it again.
Well, you had to know that was coming.
Well, I figure they keep him down in Orlando a little longer, honestly, because he's really young.
Yeah. I didn't expect his call up immediately, especially with Oba and Trick gone. I figured they would keep Javon down to be kind of like that what's the word? Kind of like the new face of NXT. I think that honor has been bestowed to Ricky now
I
because
hate that.
after Ricky and Ethan, boy, it's
Yeah,
I don't know.
I hate that Ricky's not getting the call up. I feel like that should have been Ricky's spot, the Javon Evans spot. But I do appreciate them trying to make the roster younger, trying
Yeah.
to feature younger talent. Do you have any predictions about where Obafemi's going to land, Raw or SmackDown?
We didn't get to record And I really wanted to say this because I felt like I could better articulate it on here. I was really hoping that Oba, Trick, and Javon would end up on SmackDown because I was hoping that SmackDown would be the new young and up and coming brand, kind of like they used to be in the 2000s. And Raw would be that same main event class that we have now. Maybe you throw Sammy back into it. Uh, but they kind of have their solidified young guy with Braun Breaker. So I just think Oba in there may muddy things. And I just wanted, like, that would have freshened up SmackDown, gave me a reason to watch on Fridays. I got a reason to watch on Mondays because it's the most interesting show out of WWE. But if they could just be on SmackDown having like good matches, good stories with the young talent, that's my ideal. But in all honesty, I think Oba's going to Raw.
I think he should. Yeah, keep him away from the Jacob Fatus and keep him away from Trick Williams. Keep him away from guys like that for now. But a lot of top names he can work with on Raw, and it's still the cornerstone of the company, Monday Night Raw. And you have the guy that you think you can bank on for the next 15 WrestleManias. You have him on Raw. You got to.
Yeah. I don't hate it by no means. But, I put it out there on TikTok the other day and Instagram. I think Oba needs to be the Batista Undertaker type. Like, I really don't ever care to see Oba hold a mid card title. I think Oba should only and exclusively be in main event programs or world title programs.
Be the Brock Lesnar type attraction. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
One more little news tidbit from Monday night, Micah, and we'll talk about the rest of the show. The little we had on Monday night, but did you see that we're getting a new theme song to Monday Night Raw? No more 4x4 with Travis Scott. No more. You see that?
I did.
You know the song that they're replacing it with?
Eminem in 2026 is a very interesting choice.
All the 39-year-olds on wrestling Twitter and Reddit, they love this. They love the Eminem crossover. I never thought I would see Juice World, however, as the theme song of Monday Night Raw.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, like, I didn't ever even hear his part. It was always just the Eminem.
They
Ugh.
got him as a feature. Godzilla by Eminem and Juice World. Bro, it was a bunch of people celebrating this. I was like, oh my God, such a banger. And I booted up the song, Mike, and I was like, what? Are we sure?
It was okay when it initially came out.
Was it?
At least I thought it was okay, but it definitely was not because of Eminem.
Are you a big Eminem guy, Mike?
Nah.
all the millennials that say, I don't like rap, but I love Eminem. Were you one of those guys?
No. I wonder why you like Eminem, sir.
I like Tom McDonald and Eminem.
Oh, no.
Logic was my guy back in the day.
Oh, I never liked Logic either.
Nah, man, come on now. Nobody liked Logic.
No. Him and there was some other corny. Yeah, on this same vein, I'm gonna catch a lot of heat for this.
Oh,
I'm never a big Mac Miller fan. I just never was.
yeah, I couldn't get into him either. I know my sister was a
What?
big fan.
What's that clip from Family Guy? I never liked The Godfather. What? How could it? It insists upon itself, Lois.
I'm with you. I'm with you though.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think. I don't know, man. When I was like, I guess my prime like rap listening probably would have been like high school, so like 2017 to 2020. I
Yeah.
never in my life was like, "Hey, bro, if they're on that Eminem," no.
Yeah, I was a big SoundCloud rapper fan around
Yeah,
that time too. But yeah, man, Eminem, I mean, shout out to him, but I don't think it's such a big improvement from the Travis Scott song
No.
personally.
Now, do you
But
think it's a retaliation effort after the whole WrestleMania charade last year?
I guess, man, but you played the song for a whole year, so how much retaliation did you
Yeah.
get? Maybe they had a contract for a year and they had to play it. But I don't even
Maybe.
remember it being. Why don't they have the little intro video packages anymore? Remember that
I
Frost
miss
the
that.
Nations? Remember
Yeah.
that back in, like the Ruthless Aggression area, the Ruthless Aggression era. And now
I
we don't get
do,
any
but
video packages.
it's what we do.
We get the little signature to start the show. Then, now, forever
Together.
together.
It's so lame.
All right.
It's like it's fine, but I still want because I remember the little down a banana bound a banana bound, and I was like, oh man, that makes me think of like Monday nights in the living room, like it's go
Yeah,
time, and yeah,
we ain't got
now
that no more. Yeah.
now I will admit the little 4x4 I turn my windows up, like that is pretty memorable as a Raw intro. I feel like that's a pretty memorable intro.
With them entering the building with their luggage.
Yeah, Punk's always got his coffee.
Well, of course, gotta have coffee. Everybody drinks coffee at 7 o'clock at night.
Well, anyways, we got as far as Raw goes, I only really had one thing. I don't know if you had anything aside from the main event. Kind of a nothing show, but I saw a lot of fans pissed before we get to the main event. A lot of fans were pissed at this show. Oh my god, bro!
Yeah.
What? How? Like this show is awful and da da da. What did y'all think? Is this not what Raw has been for like the past 4 or 5 months? I'm not saying that excuses it as being good, but did y'all think like, oh, just because it's 2026, they're just gonna change up their entire formula?
Well, hold up now, Micah. Let me just say that I enjoyed last year's first Raw on Netflix 10 times more than this one. Did did we need? I hate to be this guy, Micah. I hate to be the bad guy here on the Scoop Slam podcast, but did we need 3 women's matches? 2? Okay, fine. All right, we can work with 2, but 3 when nobody cared about Lyra Valkyria and Liv Morgan, they were chanting for Jericho. For God's sakes, Micah.
Yeah.
They were chanting for Y2 January 6th. That's what they were chanting for, Micah. We didn't need 3 women's matches.
Yeah, we're gonna be positive here on the Scoop Slam podcast to start off 2026.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
nothing.
Positive.
It's nothing against the ladies, but 3 back to back with the only men's match being the main event. It's just a choice. The first match being Rhea and Io versus Riho. Can we call it that?
Oh,
Are we
okay.
adding the
Sure.
H in there, and that's not allowed?
Yeah. Go with it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, they fought the Kabuki Warriors, and that's fine.
It was fine. Yeah.
Rhea's a big star. Io's pretty over, and it was for a championship. Cool.
Yeah.
The
That was
next
fine.
match,
I like that.
Becky Maxine rematch, has a feud. Becky's a big star.
Now this is where I thought it went off the rails, actually. 'Cause I don't think people care about Maxine once Maxine won the title, people immediately stopped caring.
Well, but I can excuse this. But a non-title contest, just Liv and Lyra. Like, I like Liv. I think she's came a long way. But like, are you staying tuned in for this? I just don't know.
Imagine paying $800 for, I don't know, front row tickets. Maybe they're more than 800 actually, but imagine paying top dollar to go see this live, Micah, and you get to the peak of the show, big 9 o'clock hour. You're expecting something big to happen, maybe like a Jericho appearance, Brock Lesnar come out, destroy everybody, Roman Reigns. But you see Lyra Valkyria and Liv Morgan?
Yeah.
How heated up would you have been?
Well, admittedly, when I went to the one in Birmingham a couple months ago, I think it was 2 women's matches followed by the championship turmoil match. So I'm almost right there with you.
But still, though, man, this is Brooklyn, New York. There's right in their backyard. They be in WWE. This is New York City, man. We
Yeah.
got to have some primetime players for New York City. Instead, we get, and no disrespect to these ladies. I feel like we're being too negative here, but nobody wanted to see 3 women's matches on Monday Night Raw, the first Raw of the new year. Nobody wanted to see that.
Yeah, I don't even think it's so much like people are gonna take this and they're gonna misconstrue it as like, oh, you guys are being misogynist. Like that's really not it, I promise. Like Liv is a big star. She has an audience that wants to see her, but it's the way it was paced. Like they should
I
have
didn't.
had they probably should have dropped the Liv match for I don't
No one
know,
called
a
her.
Jey
Have the
Uso tag
no, no,
match.
no. Have the AJ Gunther match on this show. Why couldn't we
Yeah.
have 2 good matches on a show? Is that allowed, Triple H? Can we have
No,
that?
it's what we do.
We can only have 1. Okay.
No, for real. Okay, had the show hypothetically. Let's keep it a 4-match card. Let's go Rhea Io versus the Kabuki Warriors. Second match
Sure.
AJ Gunther. Third match Maxine Becky. Fourth match Braun Punk. That's a way better show. Like immediately on
Yeah.
paper and everything, and it's paced better.
Cut the weird Usos promo too. I don't know what that was about.
Yeah, they were just out there hooting and hollering. I don't know. I don't know what they were saying.
I don't even think they knew what they were out there for.
No. I like y'all, man. Y'all probably the greatest WWE tag team, like on paper, but yeah, I don't know what that was.
Keep that one.
Oh, anyways, that brings us to the main event for the World Heavyweight
Oops.
Championship: CM
Now we're
Punk versus Braun Breaker.
great match.
A lot of people hated it. A lot of people hated this online,
Of course, yeah, of course.
but we're positive here on the Scoop Slam podcast.
Oh yeah.
I think arguably Old Man Punk is like top 3 eras of Punk ever. Like the old
Mm.
gunslinger dying on his sword, like going out his way.
Middle aged and crazy, as he calls it. His Terry Funk
Yeah.
era.
Basically, yeah. I think it's excellent. Like people are like, "Oh, he's slow and he's plotting and he's not athletic." But here's the thing, right? I don't like super like there's a place for it. There's a place for your super crisp flip wrestling. But I like the struggle. I like the realism of like it is a struggle for this guy to win. Especially when he's outmatched against a physical specimen like Braun Breaker, who's faster, stronger, more powerful, probably better. Athletically, we can obviously say Braun is more of an athlete than Punk. But Punk uses
Yeah.
that old man IQ. He's been what do they call it? The tricks of the trade. He knows them. And so he uses that to his advantage. And I just think that like people expect like 2006 Ring of Honor Punk in there, and that's not who he is anymore. That's not the style that he presents or brings to the table. But the people that are sitting up here calling him washed, and take your eyes back, get some new ones. Like, I don't know what y'all are seeing, but it ain't what I'm seeing.
Well, the Punk derangement syndrome that a lot of these guys have, Micah, it came out during this match, especially when the botched moonsault happened. You remember seeing that
I
when
do.
Braun got dropped on his head?
I don't even think it. I think it was both their fault.
Yeah, it looked like Punk wasn't in position,
But
and
Braun
maybe
also didn't get his legs like fully around Punk's head before he started turning.
what made me think that they messed up is because they sold it is what they should do, of course, but then they redid the spot a couple minutes later, and that went
Yeah.
off without a hitch. So maybe we're getting worked here. Who cares? It didn't take away from the actual match because they actually sold it and didn't just pop right back up like nothing happened.
Yeah, or like
But
fumble and try and like
yeah,
put the other one's arm here, like you see him do half the time.
yeah. Jared Goat, he probably would have hit that moonsault, that Frankensteiner type maneuver. He would have hit that, Mike.
So we're turning
What you talking
babyface
about?
on Jericho.
What do you mean? We're big Jericho fans on the podcast.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The conversations are going to get really interesting, but I'm going to say I already know what's going to happen, but I'm going to save all my opinions for when he comes back.
What did you see that it was in the Observer that they reported Punk was in the concussion protocol after this match? And then they got debunked like a day later by EWI saying, well, actually, that's not an accurate story, and Punk is fine.
What the heck? No, I did
Yeah.
not see that. You know, we need to coin that PDS, the Punk Derangement
The
Syndrome.
Punk arrangements. Yeah, it was PWI reported rumors that CM Punk was placed into concussion protocol at the last night's Raw are entirely incorrect.
What a bunch of goofs they have over there, man.
Oh yeah, Alvarez. He's prime PDS. He
Oh
has it.
yeah,
Yeah.
man. He's probably the first subject, honestly.
Yeah.
What do they call that?
But
What do they call
patient
that?
zero.
Patient zero. Patient zero PDS, Brian Alvarez. Oh man.
Another spot that was scary when it happened was the Punk dive. I haven't seen him hit a dive in a long time. And of course
Yeah.
he did not land it, but still though, that
Well,
was crazy.
I think that was a little bit of the camera made it look a certain way, but Braun actually hit him.
Yeah,
I
he
don't know
did.
if he
Yeah.
was supposed to catch him, but it looked like he was supposed to punch him. But Braun really hit him with like his forearm more than like his fist.
It
Uh,
looked devastating. And then Braun Breaker proceeded to hit a gorgeous, I don't know, that like clothesline he does. He's standing from
yeah,
the apron and he hits the guy that's on the announce table. Well, he took it a step further. Braun Breaker climbed to the top of the turnbuckle while CM Punk is perched on the announce table. And Braun Breaker proceeds to leap off the turnbuckle and hits him with a picture perfect clothesline. That was a thing of beauty.
yeah,
They could have sold it a little longer. Maybe they're running low on time. I'll give them a pass, but it was a great, great spot.
yeah. I thought it was an excellent match. Like I think a lot of people were just sick of waiting for 2 hours for it, which I can somewhat agree with you there. And I think the commercials are obviously like too much. I know you watch it on a delay. I try to tune in. I was trying to be a good Mr. Scoop to start the year. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna watch Raw live. Like I'm excited for the show. They got the Stranger
Ah,
Things collab. They got Punk. Like
yeah.
I'm here. I'm locked in.
Yeah. Man, I'm telling you, the key to watching Monday Night Raw and being happy while you're watching it is to watch it on a tape delay. Just go ahead and let it run for an hour, and then you tune in an hour later, and now you can skip over all the commercials and zip zap through all the stuff you're not interested in.
Yeah. I think I will take that method next week, honestly.
Yeah, yeah.
Because especially the main event, man. It was like every time I was getting into it, I could hear Michael Cole's cadence pitching, and I was like, here we go.
You think
But
this is Braun
ultimately,
Breakers? Oh, go ahead.
well, I was gonna say ultimately, I thought it was a good match and a good way to close out Raw. And I thought the most excellent part about it was the fact that they never had Punk take the spear.
Mhm. They did protect them. They had me at the end too. I thought Braun was gonna pull it off,
I
but
did too.
it wasn't his time. CM Punk is here to stay. It does. It does make me wonder though. what the plan for CM Punk going into WrestleMania is going to be.
Well, let me just throw something at you, right?
Go ahead. I'll throw something at you right back.
So let's harken back to a WrestleMania that I know you love.
Yeah.
But I think if they go in a certain direction, we could do it like this. WrestleMania 20, we had kind of the younger guys winning. I mean, I guess like Benoit and Eddie were not like the young guys. They were still a little older, but they were younger than most of that crop of Stone Cold and all them, right? Taker and Triple H, all them. Anyways, so what if we see something kind of like that with a night one CM Punk versus Braun Breaker? CM Punk loses to Braun Breaker to crown a new World Heavyweight Champion. And then night two, we see a Cody Rhodes versus Oba Femi, and Oba takes the championship from Cody. And then we have kind of this new, like passing of the guard, like to this new generation. Is that crazy? Is that too fast?
I got a couple problems with that. First of all, the comparison's way off, Micah. You could have said WrestleMania 21, where Batista took the title from Triple H and
That's
John
the
Cena
one I'm
took the
thinking
title from
of.
JBL.
Yeah.
You could have did that, but my other problem with this scenario is we just seen those matches, so I don't want to see those. I hate WrestleMania matches that are rematches from stuff that we just did a couple months ago. I don't like that unless it's like a big blood feud that I'm really interested in. Can you see maybe a Roman Reigns CM Punk WrestleMania main event? Can you see that?
Well, to kind of steal your same thought, it feels sort of like we saw that last year.
Okay, so I hate to advocate for this because I don't want to see this, but if Rollins can come back,
No.
I'm just saying, Micah, let's if he can, CM Punk drops the title beforehand to Braun Breaker. And you get Braun Breaker as the world champion against Roman Reigns on the grandest stage of them all, because Roman Reigns has faced somebody in the Vision. He faced Bronson Reed. So it felt like they were saving the Braun Breaker match for a big occasion. WrestleMania is that big occasion. So you have Roman versus Braun Breaker, and on the undercard, you have CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. And that's your WrestleMania Night 1 marquee matches. You hate that? I think that could be a big deal.
I think it could be a big deal. The problem is Punk and Seth is going to be a weird situation.
I know, but they never had that blow off match, Micah. You know, we tell long term storylines here, pal.
It's
You
what
enjoying the show? It's what we do.
I know, but I feel like Seth has to come back babyface now because the Vision turned on him, turned him on. Wait a minute.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold up. where does Theory fit in all this?
I don't know.
I think that's probably the best route for Punk to have like a semi main event type match is that Seth Rollins, bro, he has the built in story with Seth.
I mean, he does. Do you hate a Bronson Reed and Austin Theory tag team?
Oh, what are we doing with that? Is that like a marquee match or is that on the undercard? What do we
have them versus the Usos, maybe?
See, I was thinking we go with Usos versus the Hardy Boys for WrestleMania.
Oh.
I was thinking we go. I hope they don't do the Jay versus Jimmy part 2. I don't want to see that.
Yeah. If they're gonna have Jay do anything in term heel, he needs to face Roman.
Now I don't want to see that. We saw that. That stunk. Remember? We hated that.
Well, that they added too many gimmicks. I don't know.
You
I
put
don't want
Roman
to.
versus Braun Breaker. That's box office. That's something we haven't seen. That's a passing of the guard. And you just threw out a scenario where the young guns take out the old guard. You just threw that scenario out. But now when it's Roman and Braun Breaker, you don't want to see it.
Okay, well, let me ask you this: what do you do with Cody and what do you do with Oba?
Well, I don't think Cody is going to be the champion going into that show. I think he'll be facing Randy Orton.
Pal, we
I'm
don't
just,
we don't change the WWE Championship on on anything except WrestleMania and SummerSlam.
I think Drew finally does win the big one against Cody in the 3 stages of hell, which that's actually looking to be a good SmackDown. I'm very interested in what they're going to do with that. But I think Drew's going to be the world champion going into WrestleMania.
Well, then who do you have face him, and what's Cody doing? Cody versus Randy?
Yeah, you do Cody Randy. Randy just came back.
Okay, who's fighting Drew?
Oh boy. That's something they may have to build up to the Elimination Chamber. You get a number 1 contender up in there. Maybe LA Knight. Can you see that?
Yeah, I think it would.
You don't
Well,
you don't want to see it.
yeah. I like LA Knight, man, but I just don't know about him versus Drew.
You know the Elimination Chamber's in Chicago. Think of the heat, pal. Braun Breaker beat CM Punk in Chicago. That's heat, brother.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I don't want to do this because we did this last year, Ryan. You remember? We were like, oh, Mania season's unpredictable. It looks good. And then you saw the way 41 ended up. But I don't know. I really don't. I have no like major prediction for Royal Rumble winners. Like the only, I think the women's winner will be Liv. But for the men, like, dude, I can see it being Roman. I don't hate an Oba win. I'm not as big on it, but like Bron winning, I don't think is out of the question. You could get the underdog LA Knight type deal again. Like, there's a lot of different ways they could go, which is the fun, at the start of the year for us. So I don't know. We'll see as we get a little closer, obviously. And as far as Raw goes, I thought it was all right. But as far as this show goes, we're going to get out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Do you have any final comments, Ryan?
No,
Anything you're hoping to see for the Royal Rumble, maybe?
For the Rumble, that's too far out. I laid out my plans. Personally, if I had the pin, Roman Reigns would be the Royal Rumble winner. I know it's going to piss a lot of the fans off, especially the one that's looking to be mad at WWE for everything they do. You get Roman Reigns a 3rd Royal Rumble win. That's going to make a lot of people angry. But I don't care. Give it to him, and you build up to the Braun Breaker Roman Reigns match, which they have a story. And Roman Reigns be main event his 11th WrestleMania or 12th, something crazy like that. I don't care. Give it to him. He deserves it.
The aura.
Yeah, the aura.
Yeah, I don't know, but I will say for the Royal Rumble, we should be there live on TikTok. So if you're not following us there, make sure you follow.
We're going to Saudi. We're gonna
be
there live.
Whoa, no. We'll be live on TikTok for the very, very Royal Rumble, the Royal Family Rumble. But anyways, as always, make sure you take care of yourself. It's a new year. I know everybody's kind of getting back in the routine of things. I know I certainly haven't wanted to go to work this week, but you press on. Press on to next week. We'll be back though. We've got Raw, obviously, maybe a little SmackDown to talk about, depending. The debut of TNA Impact, and we'll get back to Dynamite next week, depending on what they give us. So it should be a jam-packed episode. Make sure you come back. Take care of yourself. Thanks for listening. Have a good one.